You sure that a woman can leave this world without a man?
Yeah, of course I can. But why would you think I couldn't?
In your point of view, you think that women, they have a knowledge today what is going on about the global war and climate change.
So they see these things, but they may not have the knowledge as to how to counteract it or to do something about it, or, Look, I mean, there are always going to be rules, right? But those rules, I always say, were made by people. So we are also people. We can remake those rules.
You sure that a woman can leave this world without a man?
Yeah, of course I can. But why would you think I couldn't?
In your point of view, you think that women, they have a knowledge today what is going on about the global war and climate change.
So they see these things, but they may not have the knowledge as to how to counteract it or to do something about it, or, Look, I mean, there are always going to be rules, right? But those rules, I always say, were made by people. So we are also people. We can remake those rules.
Hello again. Welcome to Human Tweet Podcast. Before we move, I would like to invite each of you just to subscribe in this page and put your like. Because in this one, we just share stories, we just share the voice of the volunteers, and we share experience from the people around the world. And for today, we continue our process. And we welcome to our podcast today a real wonderful woman that she is from South Africa, but for sure she has been traveling around the world. And the last year, 2025, she started a new journey to become a volunteer to fight and finding a solution for climate issues. So I will count with her today to share her experience and to share her journey. And we'll see, maybe we inspire you, maybe as well to take action to these climate issues. Maybe we inspire you also to become a volunteer to help someone. Because as usually I said, usual to me to say that, like, you can leave from your home and you go directly to homeless people and you just give something that you won't like to give to them. You can decide, maybe you just go to your neighbor and you support your neighbor. And sometimes you can decide like, okay, let me take this trip to one of the poorest countries in the world and you just go there to help them. But I always suggest that maybe before you move to that action, it's good to sit and learn how you can help someone. Because we're living in the world where we have a different tradition, we have a different point of view about what is the poverty, what it can be filmed, what it cannot be filmed, what I can share, what I cannot share. So it's good sometimes to have someone who can guide you to that process. Yes, we have internet as we are in this era right now, but I always support the idea that you have some people that they can guide you to that journey, to that process. So you understand what is behind that situation people are living, So that's why we always have Richmond Vale Academy as a place where you can also volunteer to. So you will get a preparation to take action even in Africa or Latin American country or in Caribbean islands. So that was a short one for you, but I will suggest you to research about this institution, and for sure it can be best choice for you. And let's go to our conversation. Our guest she's already here. Chantelle, welcome to our podcast. So maybe before we move, I would like to thank you for us agree or accept our invitation to join this podcast. And I hope we had a really good conversation here and inspire a lot of people through your experience.
I hope so too.
Yeah, welcome. But how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Moved out into the community of Chamaka about a month ago today, and it has been a really inspiring experience to be able to live with in the community and really be hands-on with the home gardens and the small farmers and the schools and just seeing how eager people are, to interact and to learn and to know more. So it's been really good. Yeah.
Thank you. We'll go to that one. We'll go to that one just to understand and to know how it's going your life exactly in this island.
Okay.
But I would like to start, maybe it can be a normal question, but who is Chantelle? Where were you born? How did you grow? How was your life until this Chantelle I know now?
Well, I was raised by 4 very strong women, which is probably why I'm sitting here today talking to you about this topic. My family has a very strong matriarchal grounding. Yeah. So women are respected. My great-grandmother, who raised me, along with her 3 daughters, who were all spinsters, they never got married. And I don't know if that's maybe why I have never been married, but they always, they're very strong in their opinions, in their physical ability to do things, decision making. Everybody always respected them, especially my great-grandmother. So she was a huge form of inspiration, as well as my great aunts, which is what you call her daughters. So yeah, my mom died when I was really young, and that's how I ended up living with them. And I think being raised that way by these strong women really inspired me to be and do whatever it is that I wanted to. They're always encouraging me, saying you can do whatever it is you want. And I'll never forget my grandmother used to say, there's always a way. And I think that has stayed with me. And it's opened so many doors for me, because I don't believe in, there'll always be obstacles and challenges, but there's always a way. So, that's who I've become. I raised 2 sons single-handedly as well. And I'm very, very proud of them, because they're also traveling the world doing their own thing, wow, allowing me to do this with you and experience more of what became a passion for me as I started traveling. One has different reasons. People have different reasons for traveling. For sure. And as I went from India to Ireland, and I became very aware of what I was eating, right? Because I was also going through a stage in my life where hormones were becoming an issue. And when you realize what you're putting into your body and how that affects you as a human being, and especially as a woman, yes, you sit up and pay attention, Like when you're young, you obviously don't think about these things. But as you come to this phase of your life where you need to pay more attention to how your body is changing and why it's doing that, and it becomes uncomfortable. You need to inform yourself as to what you can do to make things better. And this is where my interest came in, with clean eating, climate change, sustainable farming, and yeah. Okay,
that is really interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe going a bit back to what you said related to your family. I think also you believe that also our environment and our families is the main key to prepare us to become who we are maybe in the future as adult people.
That's true.
And I think said like, okay, my grandma, she was like that, so maybe that's why I'm like this today.
True story, yeah.
Yeah, but when you go to that time, actually, where you was living, where exactly? Because I know that you are from South Africa, but not one. You are from 2 nations. It's not only South Africa. Or?
Look, I'm from South Africa. My father's Indian, there's a lot of. South Africa is also very diverse in culture. There's a lot of intercultural interaction between people. So,
because I think all the people you will find all the nations in South Africa.
Yeah, that's right. And I grew up like this, in this kind of environment.
Yeah.
Very humble beginnings. We didn't have any running hot water. We had an outside bathroom. And
when it's cold, how was
you have to boil water in the kettle and put it in the dish.
Because I know South Africa, when it's cold, it's really
it does get cold in the winters there. But yeah, so this is where, I came from very humble beginnings, but I had a lot of people investing in my education because I don't know, maybe they saw something in me. Maybe I just was very determined, and I made sure that I educated myself and got out of that poverty mindset. I don't know if I ever had the mindset. I know that I lived in a poverty-stricken community. We didn't always have an abundance of things, but we were okay, we were happy. And I think that is after I have experienced the other side of that. Because, when you come from such humble beginnings, all you want is a better life. You want to give your kids a better life.
Yes.
So you think that comes with buying expensive cars and nice holidays and private schools and nice houses. And then I did all of those things.
Yeah.
And at the end of it all, I decided to give that up. And I'm right back to where I started, because that's where the truth lies, That's where happiness is. And this is why maybe I feel so happy now, because the culture on this island and in the Caribbean is so similar to Africa for me, very community based. And
no, actually it is. I can confirm that.
Yeah.
I'm from Mozambique. We have a really similar kind of behaviors.
Yeah.
The weather sometimes, because here is just so they call two. They said they have 2 seasons in Vincent, but just one. No, just one season where it's rain and hot.
No,
but for them, they know better how it's organized these seasons. But they used to have really 2 seasons in St. Vincent. So, but for sure, the weather here is really similar, and people behave. Human beings, it's too similar.
Very.
How we live in.
Agreed.
In Africa.
Yeah.
I want to ask you something when you mentioned, like, for example, when you used to just put water in a bucket and take a shower outside. That is common in Africa, where a family, you have a room or small house, and the bathroom is really outside. So sometimes people, they have to go to take a shower for a certain time, like they have a specific time they have to take a shower, because if it's dark, you can't, in the sense you can be afraid, like, okay, I will go outside. And
that's true.
Sometimes because you need to use to boil the water.
Yeah.
Sometimes some countries, they don't have electricity.
Exactly.
So we really have a time set where you have to take a shower. So could you share a bit how was for you all this process, all this life?
It wasn't easy for me, and I think it's because it wasn't easy that I wanted to get out of it so badly. I worked so hard to make sure that wasn't going to be my life forever, because it also comes with a lack of privacy.
Yes.
And I'm a very private person by nature. So that was uncomfortable for me, knowing that, so you're in this room and you washing in this basin, right? And there's no real door. There's a curtain, so anyone can come in there at any time.
Yeah.
So, there's a lack of privacy. Sometimes I think maybe dignity as well, because in these, sometimes there are like 3 or 4 people sharing a room.
Yeah, that's true.
And so it was so challenging for me, but I think it motivated me to want better for myself and for my kids, and I did all that. So.
But for now, I would like to ask you again, don't forget to subscribe and to put a ring there. So when always we share new videos, new podcasts, you will first receive the notification, okay? And don't forget to put a like. And Chantelle, you were saying this about having a baby. The first one you had when
That's
you were
19 years old.
19 years old. Actually, as African, I'm saying that as African because it's not so common in other regions to have baby
So
on
young,
that age.
yes.
Yes. I remember also I was having a conversation with some friends from Germany, actually they're part of your team, and I was asking also about this process about having a boyfriend or this about having a baby, building a family. It's like they are 19 years old now. Their mindset is not about that. It's completely different. But
Exactly.
for Africans, that is the age.
It's very common.
Not all of them actually. I have to make sure that not all of them, but a lot of women in Africa, they start to have babies usually with 19, 20 years old. When you realize that you are mom, how did you feel and how your family received that information?
Oh my God, it's true what you say. A lot of, I've got 3 sisters, 2 of them, besides me, had babies at 19. So, like you say, it happens more often than not. It's obviously not planned and it's huge. It's not something that the family's proud of. So, it's really difficult, because besides your own fears and insecurities and not knowing what's waiting for you, you've got family members who are looking at you because now they think you've ruined your life.
Yeah.
And you had such a bright future or whatever. People like to have lots of things to say, but and I must admit, I thought my life was ending. I really did.
I think every woman for first time.
No, because I was such an overachiever at school. I was good at sports. I participated. I represented my country for athletics, and academically, I was also an overachiever. So I wanted to go and study, and then this happened. But I went to study anyway once I had the baby. But I did feel like it was a huge inconvenience for me, so which is a little bit sad because nobody wants to have a baby under those circumstances. But as time goes by, you understand why things happen. And I'm one of those people who believe that everything happens exactly as it should.
Yeah.
And at this stage, I know exactly, because if that didn't happen, I'm not sure where I would have been. I'm a little impulsive. And this whole journey for me started with one day waking up and just deciding that I don't want to do this anymore. I was in the pharmaceutical industry for like 22 years. And I just woke up and said, enough. And sold my things and packed my bags and left. So imagine if I didn't have that baby at 19, where would I have been today?
Where would be?
Exactly. So no.
Yeah. No, I understand. Actually, I imagine I'm a man, I cannot feeling, but I imagine how
It's devastating.
probably was, because this is more like, for certain reason, okay, now I will become a mom. So I imagine oh my God. But you feel like was it also a pressure from only family, or you feel like was it also a pressure from the society because it's part of Africa?
Yeah, no, definitely society. They expect you to do certain things, and the more capable you are, the more pressure gets put on you. And this is why even with the other members of my team,
Yes.
the 18, 19-year-olds, who are at that stage where I was now, I said to them that whatever you do and whatever course of study you want to follow, make sure that it's something you're passionate about and that you don't just choose something because society or your parents or even you expect something of yourself. You know what I mean? Just find out what it is that ignites you first and then follow that. Because I wanted to study medicine and my grades weren't good enough. But because I needed to go to uni, I needed to go study because that was the right thing to do.
Yes.
I studied a degree in sports science, which I never used. It got me into the pharmaceutical industry, but I feel like it was largely a waste of time. So this is why I said to the younger girls, I said to them, go and study, but make sure that it's something that you love.
Want it. You're sure that is what you want.
Yeah, it's important.
That's the good point also. Talking about what you want. As a woman today, you think that it's possible, or how let me put it like this. How do you see that possibility, like do what you want as a woman in the world how it is today, where we have this I would say this balance is like, okay, as a man you have more conditions, you have more you're allowed to do certain stuff, we have more possibilities. And how do you see for women, and as a woman, how do you see that possibility, because you are suggesting it to them like as a teenagers, like, okay, choose to do something that you really love. Do you think that the world today is open to that possibility for women?
I think there are a lot more women doing that in this day and age than before. You know, obviously there were actually laws that used to govern women's rights that we weren't allowed to do. Those are relaxing quite a bit because we've got more female leaders. We've got more. There's the ecofeminism thing, which is now a big thing where women are really getting involved in climate change and becoming activists for that. But I do think that the climate around that is changing, and that as women, the more we make decisions to do whatever it is that drives us or ignites us and that we're passionate about. And look, I mean, there are always going to be rules, right? But those rules, I always say, were made by people. So we are also people. We can remake those rules, you know? So there have been a lot of things that could have been obstacles in my life and in this journey that I'm currently on. But I decided that they weren't going to be. And because that was my internal locus of, I decided that it wasn't going to be, and it hasn't been. So if you put your mind to something, I mean, you don't have to be a radical activist and you don't have to take radical action. It all starts with your internal climate. I think, you know, you decide this is going to be a problem and it will be. If you decide it's not going to be, there's always a way. Like I say, my grandma used to say, there's always a way. And I found that there is always a way. And there's definitely, things are starting to relax around women's rights. More women are becoming involved and respected. And I honestly believe, you know, there's a lot of speculation about how things used to be in the beginning. And I honestly believe that a matriarchal society, so I'm not saying women should run the world, but we have, women are connected to nature and land in a way that men will never be, right? And we can create such an amazing synergy if we use each other's strengths, because women are cyclical, so our moods change with the moon, with all different cycles of nature, right?
Yes.
And men are steady, and we need that, just like the men need to understand the cyclical nature of things. So we women need you to ground us, and because you don't have the emotions and the moods that go up and down, but we have those things, but it's for a reason. There's wisdom in that, you know. And I feel like people are starting to remember that again, you know, that women, and the older they get, the more wisdom they carry, the more intuitive, the more connected they are to their intuition, the more when things start to calm down in your life, you start to notice and pay more attention to things like seasons and nature, and how that influences you in a positive way, how it can calm you, what calms you down, and what raises your stress levels, you know. And because we understand this in such a inherent way, because we grow life, we understand how to nourish. It's part of our cellular makeup. We know how to nourish, we know how to give back. And this is what we're busy with this earth that we've just been taking from all the time. The women understand inherently that you have to give back to nourish. The earth's nourishing you, so you need to give something back, you know? So this is why I think it's so important for women taking their place in this world right now. We're not trying to wipe out the male population or obliterate. We need all of those things, you see. But we are in the state, this world and this planet is in a state because there's been an imbalance, because our voices were silenced or muted, because the world was run from a very patriarchal and masculine perspective. This damage has been done, but it can be restored, and I find that that's happening.
You remind me of one of our conversation before.
I remember that.
You remind me of
a very heated debate we had.
So I want to ask you again. No, but actually you are putting this like women taking a leadership, and you are also saying again like, okay, women have been silenced, their voices, even if I don't think like in that sense really real. And you said one of that conversation, you said something like, you think that, I will ask you again, are you sure that a woman can leave this world without a man?
No, look, I never said without a man. I think that, like I said to you, there are different aspects of leadership and care that both sides bring, right? So the night we had that argument, the debate, it was a very heated debate. I was very passionate about, and you were triggering me, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But what I actually meant was that not to do anything without men, but for men to start understanding, right? Because it comes with I feel because our voices were silenced, it led to disrespect and lack of understanding. That's what triggered me, right? The disrespect and the lack of understanding of our role in society, in nature, in governing, in leading, right?
Yeah.
Because there's certain sectors of the male society who don't really believe that women have, or our opinions are valid, or that we could contribute, or that we could, like you kept asking me, do you think you could run this world? And I was like, yeah, of course I can. But why would you think I couldn't? You know what I mean? Because we are more than capable, and we're already starting to prove that. And it's not about doing it without men at all, But before the balance can exist, there needs to be, because now the scales are not balanced, because societies become mainly patriarchal, mainly run by men, right? In order for that balance to find an equilibrium again, women's rights and voices need to find their place, and then we can balance that out with the male contribution.
Now I want to provoke you.
Again.
Also, the people who are at home. The same question. What do you think? Do you think that a woman or women, they can run this world without a man? That is the question. You can respond that one in the comments, and I will be reading that one. It will be a real good conversation about that. Because one thing is, I remember that debate was really interesting. Yes. And I think one of them, was James as well, was there also in that conversation. The sense like, okay. In one hand, that is the provoke, okay?
You provoke.
I'm provoking. Because we start like that, okay, if the world today is like this, how we are, a lot of war, terrorism, poverty, you said that, okay, we are in this situation mainly because it has been a man who leading the one. Are you still in that point of view?
100%. So you asking me if a woman can lead this world without a man? The men have been running this world without a woman into the ground. So surely we should just be given the chance to see. Let's see how it goes when we are the ones making the decisions, you know?
Okay, you know what? I want to start from this point. If we want to understand, if let's see, we're just thinking here. If the world is like this because it's the man. I want to start with one point of view. A man who is the first teacher to the human, to the people.
Excuse me?
Who is the first teacher to a people, like as a human? Who are our first teacher? Moms.
Yeah.
We're talking about
mothers.
It have been mothers who have been preparing a woman and a man to the world.
Okay, get it? Yeah.
Okay, so we're starting there. So, how the men behave, who is the man, is the product of the man.
Yeah, I agree with you. I do agree with you.
Is the product of the man. So, we're talking about the woman building certain type of man who have been running or do the things that, okay, now we're saying like the problem is the man. It's one point. So, we're starting, was the woman's fault. We go to this.
So much fault, guys.
We go to the second point.
You see how provocative he is.
Second point, we said all the leaders in the world, actually all the presidents right now, they have wives. All the presidents, they have wives. And as a man, I know that usually as a man, we don't take a real big decisions without talking with our wives. So in that sense, if my decision has a hand or point of view of my wife,
are you trying to blame the women for all the bad decisions you made because we stand behind you
I'm trying to
and we raise you? Let me explain something to you. I have two sons, right? They were raised pretty much. They were both raised by me.
Yes.
Completely and totally different people. They are polar opposites. So I'm not sure whether it's the nurturing that I gave or, you see, some people are like nurturing and socializing somebody, like a mother to a child, obviously has a great effect on how that person turns out, right?
Exactly.
But there's also characteristic traits that are inherent to that human being that no matter what kind of parenting, it's not going to change you being a control freak or a narcissist or whatever you call people with negative behavior traits, whatever you want to label them. You can't always blame. Yes, I do agree that there's a certain amount of nurturing that changes people and human development, but there are character traits that people are going to have. Because I suppose bad parenting can result in people becoming a certain way. But at the end of the day, that woman that birthed you and raised you, she's also only a human being with her own challenges, her own perspectives, and her own socializing and upbringing, right? She is a parent like me. When I was 19, I was a terrible mom. I was a terrible mom because I had no idea what I was doing, right? But I realized the impact that my behavior was having on my kids. And I needed to change that. So we are all responsible for our own actions at the end of the day, And with regards to the wives of presidents and leaders, yes, there are women that they consult, but it also once again depends on that leader. Look, like Barack Obama and Michelle, for example. You know what I mean? They are a team. So yeah, there will always be women behind. Obviously, there will be women behind because we birth these human beings. There's a mother, there's a partner. So, but you can't blame us for your bad behavior.
No, was just a provoke, just to warm a bit our conversation. For sure, we recognize our role in this world as part of the world. And one point of view as well, for sure, you are part of the world. I understand, like one of the main part of your fight has been this, like, okay, we need to have the voice, as how you as a man have the voice. One example that I can bring the bit is this. I don't know if you have seen or have you heard about this situation. How do you see in your point of view as a woman, these of salaries difference between men and women, where we can have the same job. Like I can be a teacher, you can be a teacher, or I can be a mechanic, and you can be a mechanic. But because I'm a man, I'm having a better salary, and as a woman, we're having a different salary. What is your point of view related to that? It's making sense in one end, like, okay, because you are women, maybe you're not so strong, so energetic, that you cannot take off the engine. For example, in the car as a mechanic.
But what about academic positions where you don't need to be strong, where women are smarter, but they get paid less for doing the same kind of work as men do? Why do you think, I'm going to put this question right back at you. Why do you think that's the case? Why do you think there are certain countries and organizations, right, because they do exist, why do you think they would do that? Why do you think you would pay a female less for doing the exact same job, sometimes even more than what the man's doing, but because he's male, he's considered the higher earning as having a higher earning potential? Why do you think people or organizations or governments, why would they do that?
That is the real question.
Is it? So you have no idea why they do that?
No, actually, I heard about that. Like, okay, they have these balanced salaries, and like as a man, for sure you're having a different salary. But I saw as a system that is already set to that kind of organization, that kind of country as well. Because if he's doing it, it's not like specific company, but it means like it's a system inside of the country. So if it's a system in the country, I come also to the same question. That's why I was asking you, like, in your point of view, like how, because it's kind of system, how you feel as a woman to that part of the things, like, okay,
well, I mean, it's obviously grossly unfair, but it also won't benefit you if that's the system and those are the laws.
Feel as a woman to that.
You could, I suppose, fight the laws, but what I would do in a situation like that, because we all have different levels of intelligence, right? But if I'm doing a job, say you and I are scientists, right? I know I'm smarter than you, but you get paid more than me, right? So the only thing I would do is make sure that I do whatever it is that I do to the best of my ability, regardless of what my salary bracket is going to be. Because at the end of the day, firstly, whatever we are really good at and passionate about is going to drive and inspire us to do better and more and make a difference in this world, right? And that is what it's all about. When you focus on those things and you allow your passion to drive you as an individual or human being, you don't only have to be female, right? Lots of discrimination even between not to do with gender. But if you allow your passions to drive you and you actually make a difference in, no matter how small, in your society, in your work environment or whatever, that reward, I find, opens doors for you that a company that decides that they're not going to pay you and salary could never do. Right? If you and I are getting a higher salary, that's that they're not going to pay you never do. So if I can prove that I'm capable and smarter and I'm doing it while I'm really enjoying what I'm doing, and I'm doing it from my intention is to make a difference and contribute positively to society, I'm deeply spiritual that way, and it's always worked for me, which is why I say, when you do that and you take that stance or that road, things happen because people are going to recognize you for your efforts, people who really are looking for what it is that you have to offer. So do that and don't fight about the money, because there's always going to be some kind of injustice somewhere.
Okay, but in that sense, for example, when we bring these two examples as a mechanic, and you bring also this about academic, you will try to share a bit the idea that it can make sense in certain point depending in kind of the job, like having a different salary based on the specific job?
I don't really think so, because you see, you can't say that a woman mechanic, for example, is less capable because she doesn't have the physical strength. There are some women who are physically stronger than men. So you can't really say that a woman mechanic is less capable because she can't lift
The engine.
or whatever, you know. So no, it has nothing to do with, for me, it shouldn't have anything to do with your ability to do something. Like, you can't say that this woman is less capable of being a mechanic because she's not strong, because she's not as strong as. Sometimes there's there's a different approach to that physical aspect of that job that could save time and money, that somebody with a little bit more brains would think of, and not need to even have that physical skill. You know, there's so many things that you can look at. So I don't think that there should be any kind of discrimination when it comes to differences between wages or salaries with men and women, you know?
Yeah, I don't know properly about that in my point of view, because each government, they have their own reason why they are doing this, the things why they are doing. And sometimes we find the systems where people, they are getting paid based on their production. So if it's that, it can maybe be making sense, because you are getting paid based on your production, but not based on your gender.
Yeah.
But you get paid by your effort, your energy, or your
For sure.
But until, I don't know, but if it's kind of any impact that we have been, because sometimes as a women we share like, now we are doing this because we have many years where we didn't have a voice. But today, this fight about putting a woman, giving a word to the woman, I think as a woman you already have enough word. You are getting more enough. Yes, it's not enough, but at least you have some words today.
Yeah, no, we do.
Than how it was in the past.
For sure.
So in that sense, I don't know. You think, in your point of view, like while we're having this, you are having more this independence as a woman. You think that women, they have been preferred choose this angle, like hard jobs?
No, but you see, that's the thing. We don't want these hard jobs because we know that is not what we're supposed to do. Women are not supposed to be doing all of these things. But now we've got to fix the stuff that you did. So we have to.
Okay, but
So now we are supposed to be relaxing, right? We're supposed to be channeling our energies and our intuition and trying to tell you, okay, you need to plant these crops because it's going to rain soon, or don't make that decision because I'm not feeling that it's aligned, right? This is our job.
So now, what kind exactly of work as a woman you think that you really want?
No, we don't want this job. We don't want this job, but now we need to take this job. This job.
So what you are fighting to exactly? What women they are fighting? So you are fighting to have freedom to say.
We're not fighting for everything. This is a thing. This is where you get it wrong. It's not a fight because we already know. It's about knowing, right? So we know that the planet is in crisis, right? The planet is in crisis. We're not even going to blame. We're not even going to allocate blame as to why it's like that. But we do know that it needs to be fixed, right?
That's true.
So, and also we know how. We know how because we grow life, we generate life, we sustain, we nourish. We know our bodies work with the moon, the tides. We know that if you take something, you need to give it back, right? So now we are all, as women across the world, coming together to strategize in how are we going to save this planet, Mother Earth, and we're not even really worried about how it got so messed up to begin with, right? We'd like to blame you guys, but there's loads of things. There's loads of reasons why we're sitting in this crisis at the moment. Why I want to be a climate activist. Why I want to make a difference and plant more trees. And, because we really understand you have to be connected. And it's not like you cannot, it's not that you as a man can't be connected to a space of creativity. You can, but you can only do that through me, because I, as a woman, will be able to inspire and explain to you why it's important that that tree that gives us oxygen should not be cut down, and why it is making the soil that we're trying to grow things in shift and move, and it's not fertile enough. We know about fertility and how to sustain things, and our focus is not profitability, it's sustainability, and that's where the fundamental difference lies, right? Because now we want to sustain something, so there needs to come a change.
Yeah. We'll come to the climate actions as a woman, but I need to go to one point, last one, and relates to this about women and giving a power to the women. You don't think maybe as like how they took a decision before as a man, they took a decision maybe to take care of the woman?
No, I don't think that was man's.
Because if now you have work, for sure, and I appreciate that one. You have rights, that also I appreciate that one. But even having all this freedom to choose what you want to do or doesn't want to do, you still always prefer a soft part of the stuff. I know some women, for sure, they do a hard work, but for average, we're talking about women choosing a more soft area.
No, but
the harder one. You don't think when
we shouldn't have to make that choice at all. We were forced into having that as an option. You want a soft life or you want a hard life? No woman wants a hard life. No one wants to work hard, really. But in order to contribute where there's been a lack of contribution from the male side of things, right? We were encouraged, whether it was by other women or men, even there are men who encourage women, other women or men, or ourselves, where we saw a gap or a lack of something, where we thought, okay, well, there are a whole lot of male scientists, maybe, I'm just using that as an example, but I see that maybe there's a gap in the scientific field over here, and I feel like I have what it takes to fill that gap, right? So, coming back to your original question about the fact that the world is in a state because you guys made decisions in order to take care of us, maybe that's where it started. Maybe that's where it started, your male urge to care and protect and to provide, right?
yes,
But it was, and that's noble and that's inherent to men. But that desire was soon replaced by a need for more and kind of fulfilling a different need besides. Because what happens when it becomes about status and ego is that the woman that you claim to be doing it for is now neglected because you now focused on more, and neglecting you see, there needs to be balance between what you provide as a provider on a financial or physical level. But as women, we need provision from an emotional level as well. And if you're absent for that, this is why we become so self-sufficient emotionally, financially, because we weren't getting what we were needing from our male counterparts. Because
I think we provided, but this fight, we had this consequence.
we did have this, but the thing is, what it was that you were providing? Because most males, and tell me how you feel about this. If you are say you got married tomorrow, right? What do you think would be the most important thing that you could provide your wife and kids if they came along? What would your desire be if you were to take a wife tomorrow? How would you feel that you'd provide for her?
Okay, good question. For sure. First is that she don't need to worry about the rest of the things in the life. So I could provide as much as I can so that she can don't worry about for example, trash or the weight that they're carrying, like usually as the independent one, that is to provide food, to provide ways to take the kids to the education, even to take care about emotional, not emotional, everything, all of that. I think as a man, for sure, my desire remove all these stress to her. So yes, she has the freedom to work. She has the freedom to do whatever she wants, for sure. But not in the sense like I have, in the sense like because I have to. I think it has to be like it's optional. So if I can provide everything that is necessary to her, to the family, pay everything what is necessary, take care of the kids, I think that it can relieve to her as well as a woman. So she will live her life as a woman, normal woman, yes. As soon we have this balanced respect and equity, so I can just give love that she. So it is, because I think it's too much weight to take her. It's freedom to her, yes, in the sense as a woman you are deciding what you want to do it, but I feel in other hand like you are killing too much things in one hand. It's a lot of the things. Take care of the babies is not easy. I'm not father, but I saw my friends, I saw my brother, he has a daughter. It's not easy. It's a lot of stress. As a woman, it's a stress. You need to take care of yourself, you need to take care of them. And after that, you need to find a way how you will provide your family. But that, as a man, I could also provide it. Maybe I want to receive more than you, but you don't feel like I really need because I'm there. Okay, so we become a couple where, yes, we are building our family, but not in the sense like you are struggling to solve certain issues because I'm there to solve. So in one hand is that one. I agree to have a freedom to the woman for sure. She should start, she have to start, have to decide what she wants, have to provide what is necessary to their family, yes. But not in this, how I see today. You know, I feel like, yes, women have freedom, but it's too much. So is a bit in that sense of if responding directly to your question, yes. I think as a man, I really need to take care of my family. It's my rule to take care of my family. So for her, it's more, yes, because she wants. It's not like because I need, but it's because I just want, I want to do this. I want to do that. I know some men, they said like, okay, we are used to in Africa when you get married, the man can tell you, stop to work. Unfortunately, we have that situation. I know that we have to say, he can tell you, hey, don't go to work. Just be here, we'll give you everything. No, it's not that. It's just like, okay, I will obligate you to stop to work. You can work, you can start, but it's not in the sense like because you really need. I know you have been taking care of your kids. It's different way. You're strong. To raise all your kids and all of it was stronger way. But if a man was also could be, yes, a fight, but not in the same way, you know. So that is my point of view. But just to finish a bit this this topic about the women, how we see in all this historical process. First, I would like to say thank you for you there who are watching us, and I will always remind you, subscribe, guys, okay? But Chantelle, we can talk about women as we went through in different ways, about getting married, about trying to work or to start or to that. But I want to come to see women relate to this fight against climate issues and global warming and climate change. As a woman, how do you think, or do you think that women have been taking action to this process, to these issues that we're having today? And what kind of experience you have through this? Because I know that you're one of these women who are having this fight. How do you see women taking fight to these issues today?
No, they definitely are. We've got so many, I was telling you, there's a term that they coined called ecofeminism. So there are a lot of women who are, in Sweden, there's Greta Thunberg, and she is driving the awareness for climate change. There's an activist in the Amazon as well who I don't remember her name, but there are a lot of women who are driving really strong movements for climate change, bringing awareness to sustainable farming and marine preservation, and that's what I'm saying. It's not like I'm not saying that men don't understand the importance as much as women do, but when it comes from a place of passion and inherent understanding of a system and how you want to give back, how you want to sustain, I think, like if I'm having an experience, I can explain to you what's happening inside of me. If I
the benefits of traveling and doing a podcast outside of this one. You have a natural, you have the wind, and we have a real amazing sound from someone who's passing through the road.
Always. Such a colorful tapestry.
I love St. Vincent, guys.
That's beautiful.
It's the best place.
Okay, so what I was trying to explain to you is if I'm having an experience, an emotional one about something, because this is what we're driven by, right?
Yes.
We're driven into action by our emotions. It's energy in motion. And I'm going to try and explain to you, Simon, like this is what's happening in my spirit at the moment, in my heart. Why I feel like I need to do this thing, right? I can only explain that to you. I can only act on it and inspire you to feel the same thing once I've had the experience and I can relate it to you. And there are men who feel this about earth and land, and those people, we celebrate them and we partner with those kind of things. But women's voices, because of their passion for sustainability and for the earth and for our climate and this planet, they are stepping up and they're making huge moves, and on a worldwide stage and scale they're being noticed and people are paying attention, and those who understand why what we do is important are supporting and backing them up. So it's happening. We're seeing it all over the world. We've got women in power, we've got women in government, and there's one of our colleagues is from an island called Sardinia in Italy, where the entire community is matriarchal, so it's based on the rights and respect of women. And he was saying how this island is run. It just runs so smoothly because they understand the role of the matriarch in society. She's respected, she's protected, and she's provided for in all kinds of ways, legally, constitutionally, and the place flourishes, So there's definitely an opportunity for us to step up and make a few changes. And it doesn't have to be a big deal. We can do this together. You know what I mean?
Yes. But I would like to start, maybe we can start from the highest one and we come down a bit, like in this way. We all know that one of the main reasons why we're having this global warming and climate change is because the human are there and we are just producing a lot of
over-consuming and producing a lot of waste. That we come
so, what do you think is failing as a woman on the top?
Failing?
In the sense of doing a change, but because when I'm saying from the top, I'm talking about the many industries that today we have a lot of women also with a lot of industrial companies. Also, if we go to the natural resource exploration, we also find women's right inside of that process. What is missing, or what is failing to women on that top level? Because you said that you have disconnect. The feelings is different between men and women. I can agree with that in one sense. The connection between the natural and human beings. The way how we understand the things, it can sometimes or other hand be different from how we understand. So, and also I want to bring this hand where as a woman, you have been taking care of this feeling as a woman, where you take care of the family. So you have this emotional part where you should do something. So what is failing on the top where we're talking about this, the government, talking about the rich guys or this industrial process? What is failing? What they are, or what they should? I don't know how I can put this question.
Okay.
But what can be done from the top to change this?
So when you look at the policies and procedures in, especially in huge organizations that are already in place, say for example, I'm working in a pharmaceutical environment where there is toxic or biological waste that needs to be disposed of, right? Maybe the current policy to dispose of that waste is not as environmentally friendly as it should be, right? But now this is a multinational company, and this is how it's been operating for centuries and centuries and centuries. So now I, as a woman, have found myself in a position where I am aware, first of all, of what this is doing, and
from there, why don't change something?
Yeah, but that's what we're busy doing. But it's not that easy when there is red tape and bureaucracy involved. And I mean, so as an employee, for example, right? And now up against a multinational company who's been doing what they're doing with their biological waste for absolute ages, right? So it's going to take from me as a woman, first my awareness, and then a strategic, and then a solution, right? Because I need to come with all these things. I can't just say, what you guys are doing is wrong. Then what? Where do I stand? I've got no solution, right? So I need to be aware. I need to come with a solution, and I need to prove that the way that I feel to dispose of this is going to benefit everybody. And these things take time. And women have only been in positions of power like that not for as long as we'd hope, right? So all these things, this is why slowly but surely you're seeing, as soon as the breakthroughs happen, we're being acknowledged. It's happening. But it's going to take time because, like, how long has it taken you guys to destroy this world?
Well,
Give us a chance.
I think we destroyed the world.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm kidding.
Not only men.
I'm just kidding.
But okay, Chantelle, how today you are fighting to have war?
Yeah, because
How you are doing that today?
Because when you see something gone so terribly wrong, you need to have a look at a different solution.
Mm-hmm.
And the different solution is the original solution, right? I mean, I think women also it comes to a point where, and this is also about reaching breaking point. Because everything in nature is cyclical and everything is striving towards equilibrium and balance. And at some stage, something has got to give. So this is the point now where that thing of the suppression and the oppression and the silencing, it's broken now. Because you see, the scales have tipped too far to the point where it cannot be ignored anymore. I mean, people are waging war. Women and children are being killed. The world, and because of social media, we are now so much more aware of what's going on, right?
True.
So all of these things are happening because it's time. Sometimes it's just time, and now it's time.
Yeah.
Right? You know, and yes, we were there. Maybe some of us did enjoy the spoils of whatever was not right, but like I said, at the end of the day, something's got to give, and I think it's just time. I think it's time.
Okay, I think also the time is not giving us a time.
Yeah.
But I think we're having a really good conversation here. But maybe just go to close it. And guys, maybe you can get like, why didn't ask this? Why didn't ask that? I think also you can comment. You can put on the comments maybe specific question you think that maybe we should ask, or I should ask to our guests here. And maybe to the next podcast we can continue also this topic about women, how, because I think we have a lot of things.
Yeah, no, we do.
We're just touching a bit, and when you have a podcast it's like this, you just talk here, you move, you go to talk this, you move, you come to talk, so it's normal, okay? And maybe just to come to finish all this process, because I asked you from the top, maybe coming to the bottom, we're talking about the normal women that, for example, in this Caribbean, we can talk about the women who are doing a farming. And we go to Africa, we can also see to that lot of women doing the same thing. In your point of view, you think that women, they have a knowledge today what is going on about global warming and climate change? They really understand what is going on, or you think a lot of women, they just see the thing, but they don't have any deep knowledge about what is going on?
That's a very interesting question, actually. Look, I mean, I can't really speak for everyone, but I think a lot of women are aware because they work so closely with, that the statistics show that 60% of women, especially like 45 to 60% of women, especially in sub-Saharan Africa, those are the ones that are in the field.
Yes.
So they know, Unfortunately, they may not know. So they see the change in the soil.
Yeah, they see the change,
they see the impact in the soil, in the migration of birds and animals, and the lack of trees. So they see these things, but they may not have the knowledge as to how to counteract it or to do something about it, or and this is where the other women who have found their voice or who have been given a platform, this is why we are here to say, like, I see what you're seeing and this is how we fix it, and empower each other and share our knowledge and share the information and reach out and travel and go and live in the communities where these women are seeing these things change and communicating it with people who can actually make a difference, who have the platform and whose voices are being heard.
That's true. But as a volunteer, how you see all this process about climatic issues, and how is because you are now actually in the community service, you are doing this volunteer process. How you see the things in St. Vincent, how you see the things women in this island fighting, even knowing like deep knowledge about that one, or just seeing the impact, because I think they just seen the impact, but they don't know like, okay, some of them they know, but I don't think like in average you can say like a lot of them they know like it's because it's the climate issues, global, in the sense how we understand from our studies or our opportunities today. A lot of them they didn't have the same opportunities. But how do you see as a volunteer in this island these climate issues and the role of women to respond to these issues?
I think what you're saying there is very true. They do see, because they're one with the land, basically, and they don't know what to do, and they don't know that they can do anything. So their role is so important, and that's why, as a climate activist and volunteer, this is the knowledge that I am hoping to gain, to speak to them, and so that they can tell me, and then me, in my curiosity and my research, because I love research and finding out more about things and why they happen, can educate myself first and then go back into these communities. That's why I have no intention of stopping this soon, because this is not the only island that needs that kind of feedback, So you go in, you speak to the people in the community, and also the other thing that we're doing is with the schools and the children, because this is where the education starts, So these women are now, they've got the practical knowledge of the land, where they work with it with their hands, and now we want to give them the maybe not science, but the theory behind why that is happening, so that they can make that connection and maybe in some small way do something about it, and also educate their kids, because going into the schools now, there's a huge awareness with regards to climate change. We're doing a project with the Methodist plant school at the moment, and they are recycling. They're bringing things to school to recycle, encouraging the kids to make separate bins, because on this island it's not like in Europe where you've got your green bins for plastic and your blue bins for all those kinds of things. We need to encourage the children to know that this is going to be harmful. If this ends up in the ocean, it's going to kill the fish. You're not going to be able to eat properly, or whatever you eat is going to be compromised, So this is where we're at. We're providing information and gathering information at the same time, and educating the children that are the future of this island, of this world, of this continent, and gathering the information and dispensing our own advice and theories and whatever the case may be, and building a better future of other climate aware individuals. And this is how we save like one little village at a time.
And talking actually about that, I knew it also that we have been working, as you said, also here. This about with the school Methodist, Chateau Belair Methodist.
Yeah.
And you think through that process, working with the schools, you think that you have more participation with men or women?
Women, mostly women. Most of the teachers are women. Yeah, most of the teachers are women. And let me tell you something about these kids. They are so smart. So they already have, it's so inspiring when you think that you're addressing a bunch of 10-year-olds and you're going to teach them stuff, but they know more.
Yeah.
They know what fruits are good to eat and when not to eat them. And they really are so informed. And it's the women that are teaching these children and that are making them aware. And yeah, most of the teachers are women, Now that you mention it, actually, because I didn't realize it until, because we had a field trip at the beginning of the week, and all three of the teachers that brought their classes were women.
Yeah.
So we're in a good place, we understand the need for the education, and then the children are bright, and I also believe that the kids that are born today they come with a different set of tools than what you and I were, had when we were born. They're smarter, they're more aware, they're more exposed to certain things, and we have a fighting chance here with these kids and the educators.
It's a really big fight.
Yeah.
Our neighbors here is playing a good music. Just warm a bit our conversation.
Yeah.
Guys, we are outside here. So this podcast is like that. You will see, if you go to see some videos that we already posted in our YouTube channel and our Facebook Human Treat podcast, you will see like we are always outside because we love to share these beautiful views from Richmond Vale Academy, and also from St. Vincent actually. So now we are at one village. I was called this Tromaka village in St. Vincent. So that's why you have our neighbors here playing some music, and yeah, it's like that. And Chantelle, maybe you can share a bit from your point of view as a volunteer. How you feel being a volunteer through Richmond Vale Academy actually?
Wow. Look, to be honest, when I started this journey, I didn't even know places like Richmond Vale existed. They have just opened my world to the fact that there are organizations who care as much as what individuals do, and they kind of, I think the most amazing thing that they do at Richmond Vale Academy is bring like-minded people together. Like the group that I'm with, we're so diverse in culture, in age, but they all have the same goal and intention.
Yes.
And that is to make this planet a better place. And everyone's passionate and everyone wants the same thing. And it's just so inspiring to be surrounded by people who are like-minded. And you'll be surprised how just because you've got the same heart for the world, love and spirit, it makes the rest of your relationships with these people so much easier. Like, you could have a group of colleagues, maybe if you were working in the city, and you'd work together, but you may not socialize afterwards. These people, our work is our life.
Yes. Yes.
So,
the lifestyle.
Yeah, definitely. Amazing.
I just have two last questions for you. One is, what you can say to someone who would like to become a volunteer to respond to this climate change? What kind of advice or what message you can tell them about being a volunteer?
First of all, don't think about it. I think there's a quote by Rumi that says, when you walk, the path will appear. And if being a volunteer or a climate activist is something that's always brewed somewhere at the back of your mind or stirred something in you, or if you felt that you have what it takes, even the minutest capacity to make a difference, just do it. Just start walking, because that's what I did. I started walking and I wasn't even I didn't know where I was going to end up, but this kind of work kind of has a way of taking you to exactly where you need it.
Yes. Perfect.
Yeah.
So for my last question for you is, what you like to say, for example, for a lot of women that they've been doing something for climate change through different organizations. We have many volunteers programs. Many volunteers programs, yes, but a lot of organizations that they are fighting against climate issues. We have a lot of women working underground with the soil every day in Africa, in Europe, all this world, that they are working directly with the soil and they are seeing this impact. What message you would like to give to them?
I think the most important thing would be is to share your knowledge as much as you can. If you go, there are a lot of organizations and they have platforms where the information that they have and that they find is all available. But I think we need to do more. And that is why I enjoy writing creatively about what I do here. I've got some articles and blurbs that I've done for the Academy. But it's important to share what we know with each other on platforms that are easily visible and available, and in languages that is going to attract and entice people to want to read what it is that you have to say. Because like we were discussing about the women that are at the front line, we need to be able to have access to these women so that we can gain information and we can share information, and that our networks just become one. So to the women out there, I would say, keep doing what you're doing and make sure that it's visible to others who are wanting to embark on a similar journey. Hand over your scientific proof and information to somebody with a creative mind who can inspire and lure others into this journey of activism and awareness, because it hasn't only just started. It's been going on for centuries, where the women in India used to hug trees, and I think it's all building up and it's about to explode. But we are responsible for how far our impact goes.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
And I would like maybe to you as well, as a woman, you are strong. You can just complain about how the things are or how the things is going, but you need to remember that you are the mother. You have the heart of woman. So don't get lost from the situation that is happening around you. Just get to share what is going on. Talk with another woman, find solution, because you can do any impact. Yes, we said men took many years blocking you, removing your voice, but now we cannot use as that excuse. Now you have rights. Now you can do something. Maybe in this podcast we didn't talk. Maybe we can select another podcast. We have another guest where we talk about the rights of the women, how we see these rights between women to women, women to men, and talk about everything. But what I would like to tell you right now is that if you are under some violation, yeah, don't be quiet just because you're afraid of a man. You have a right. You can ask for help. I know sometimes that was many years, some of the women, they pass it through this process, and unfortunately, when they leave this situation, they become like, it's normal. Or he will change, or she will change. No. Violence, no. So take your fight. In the sense, not taking a gun to kill a man, because, hey,
that's illegal, right?
that is illegal. But try to educate people around you. Try to show a better path to the people around you, to the kids, because it's you who build a man. Yes, when we grow, we have our way to live our life, but we always remember our mothers. I always remember my mom. I always remember the things that she have been teaching me. Certain things I said like, no, why you are doing that? But now that I'm an adult, I know that she was right. And sometimes like by my own, I say like, damn, my mom, she told me about this, you know. So keep doing your job. And for you as a man, I don't want you to feel like, why he's talking only about the man? We're men. We know each other. We don't talk. We just do it. So just do it what is better for your wife, to the people around you, your sister, whatever. So thank you again to be there watching this podcast. We see each other in the next podcast. Again, don't forget to put like and subscribe. Bye.
Bye.